ವಾನಾಗಿ ಮಣ್ಣಾಗಿ ವಳಿಯಾಗಿ ಒಳಿ.
Hello everyone, I am Aruna from 2nd MCom. I am here to discuss a topic about types of amalgamation. Before that, what is amalgamation? An amalgamation, it is a process in which a two or more business that combines to form a completely different entity. In amalgamation, it involves two companies. One is transfer company and another one is transferring company. A transfer company means a company in which amalgamated into the another company, whereas a transferring company means the company into which the transfer company is getting amalgamated. Now let's see why the company needs amalgamation. The company needs amalgamation in order to make the company into the large scale operations, and it also helps in the tax saving benefits, and it helps to eliminate the competitors by amalgamating with the similar companies. Types of amalgamation. There are two types of amalgamation, and one is amalgamation in the nature of merger, and next one is amalgamation in the nature of purchase. Amalgamation in the nature of purchase. It is a genuine pooling of interest of two or more companies. The identity of the transferor company is not lost because as it merges into the transferee company. According to the Accounting Standard 14, all the assets and liabilities of the transferor company become those of the transferee company. Here, the shareholder holdings at least 90% of the face value of the equity shares of the transferor company become equity shareholders of the transferee company. And next, the consideration is discharged only by the issue of equity shares. The business of the transferor company is intended to be carried on after amalgamation, and there is no adjustment is made to the book value of the assets and liabilities except to those which bring uniformity in the accounting policies, and it has the accounting treatment like pooling of interest method. For example, company A and company B merged into the company A, that is the continuing company. Amalgamation in the nature of purchase. It is similar to the acquisition but rather than true merger. One company acquires another and the business is not necessarily continued as before it exists. Its characteristics are: the transferee company acquires the assets and liabilities of the transfer company but not necessarily all. And next is shareholders of the transferor company may or may not become the shareholders of the transferee company. But in the nature of merger, the shareholders holding at least 90% of the face value of the equity shares of the transferor company will become the equity shareholders of the transferee company. Here, the consideration is maybe paid in cash or shares or in both. Next, the assets and liabilities can be recorded at the fair value itself. Here, the methods it has been used is purchase method. For example, company A acquires company B, and company B's identity is lost in the amalgamation in the nature of purchase. Now, let's see the difference between amalgamation in the nature of merger and amalgamation in the nature of purchase. Here, nature. In amalgamation of merger, it uses the pooling of interest method, and in purchase, it is acquisition. Next, consideration. In merger, only equity shares, that is except fractions, is used for consideration, and but in purchase, the consideration it may be in any kind of shares or cash and others. And next is shareholders of the transferor company. In merger, 90% of the shareholders will become the equity shareholders in the transferee company. But in purchase, it is not compulsory. And next is business continuity. In the amalgamation in the nature of purchase, the business is may or may not continue. But in the nature of merger, the business will be continued. And next is accounting treatment. In merger, they use pooling of interest method, and in purchase, they use the purchase method. Now let's see both advantages. And first one is amalgamation in the nature of merger. The advantages are true combination of interest, means both the company shareholders continues as the co-owners and promote equality. Next is business continuity. The business, goodwill and the identity will be continued and there will be no disruption among the companies. No revaluation losses, which means the assets and liabilities are taken at the book value itself. It avoids artificial profits or losses. Next, stronger market position. It increases the scale and resources without losing its existing goodwill. And last one is tax benefits. Sometimes allowed to carry forward accumulated losses and undisturbed depreciation of transfer company. Amalgamation in the nature of purchase, that is purchase method. Here the advantages are it is more flexible in nature, whereas the considerations can be paid in cash or shares or in both, whereas in the amalgamation in the nature of merger the consideration is only a equity shares. Here the assets revaluations is allowed, whereas the assets and liabilities can be recorded at the fair value, which will help to improving the balance sheet's strength. Next, suitability for acquisition. One company can easily take over the another company. And the last one is good for expansion. A stronger company can acquire the weaker company quickly. It helps for their expansion. Finally, which is more advantage? For shareholders, amalgamation in the nature of merger is the more advantage because they continue to be the co-owners and enjoy the business continuity. And for acquiring the companies, purchase is more advantage because it provides flexibility, control and the ability to revalue the assets. The best two examples of amalgamations are as follows. Maruti Motors operating in India and Suzuki is based in Japan which is amalgamated to form a new company called Maruti Suzuki India Limited. And next is Tata Sons operating in India and AIA Groups based in Hong Kong which is get amalgamated to form a new company called Tata AIG Life Insurance. So finally, merger is better for equality and continuity, whereas purchase is better for control and flexibility. Thank you.